everybody's complaining about the CG. You know, is it so? When it comes to us, or myself, if you ask me, is the CG any good? Yes. For everybody else except She-Hulk, the person whose show it is got the worst CG effect. Double Toasted live in Las Vegas. That's going to be October 8th, and tickets are finally available. x1entertainment.com/double-toasted. Doors open at 6 p.m. Meet and greet and cocktail hour to happen promptly afterwards. So the after party is going to be in the same venue. I think it's like 2 minutes away from the Strip. It's going to be a fun show. It's going to be a night of comedy, music, games, and as you see, the after party. We're going to have Tone Royal open for us. Going to come out and do our thing. Get your tickets now. Marvel has been leaning on humor so much, even getting criticized for it these days. But it's only natural that since they got so much, you know, everything's so goddamn funny now. Ha, bitch. It only makes sense that, and it's only natural and about time that they start leaning full-fledged into sitcom territory. And they needed to, because the MCU is just wild now. And by wild, I mean goofy. It's just, MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, 'tis a silly place now.
Ain't nothing serious no more.
No.
Let's not go to the MCU.
No.
'Tis a silly place.
Yes, 'tis a very silly place right now. And I know we're talking superheroes, all right? So things are already on the silly side. You know, we were talking about big ass green dudes who can jump a mile and throw boulders into space, you know, muscle heads with magic hammers and stuff. So, you know, it's not like we were all, you know, serious in the first place. But once we started hanging around with talking raccoons and talking trees, and once Thor got stupid, damn ants.
Playing the drums.
Oh, no.
Drum solos. Ants play. Ants.
That's funny. People don't want to see a human play a drum solo, let alone an ant.
Well, not an ant that you sat down waiting 30 minutes to see in a stinger. No, hell no. Nobody want to see that. That's when they say, this is where I draw the line. This is just too damn silly now. But, you know, there are people sitting up here talking about, if no one's taking this seriously right now, then neither shall I. It's just no one around here is actually bringing any more drama. No one's being. I didn't walk out of that movie and learn anything. Except that they, you know what? You're saying no one's taking anything seriously, except that they did. They still continue to take things seriously. You know, in all these Marvel movies, you know, somebody's parents are dying, somebody's lover's dying, somebody's friend or relative is dying, and no matter how funny the movie is or how lighthearted, we all got to stop and start crying. You know, we all got to stop and hold our heads down for just a moment. You know, this is all fun and games, but let's be serious for just a moment here. You know, Spider-Man still crying about shit. We ain't even got his uncle now. He's still finding shit to cry about. She-Hulk, on the other hand, She-Hulk is probably right now it feels like the first property to fully dedicate itself to comedy. You know, we ain't crying about somebody dying. We ain't giving no big speeches about being a hero. You know, the show comes out and says, you know, we ain't trying to hear that shit right now. Everybody's here for fun. Everybody's here to have a good time.
That's true.
You know, we've done enough crying already. You know, shit. Yeah, we spent 10 years leading up to a goddamn funeral for Tony Stark. Let's just have some fun now. And that's where She-Hulk comes in. She says, I'm strictly here for the laughs. And she doesn't mind looking straight at the camera and letting you know. We got, what's that?
I don't mind looking straight at her.
Stop being nasty, your horny ass. Where am I?
Wait.
About to throw this water on your ass.
We're trying to have a real discussion here.
Hey.
What are you doing?
That goddamn dick is hulking out right now. I'm glad you, boy, I'm so glad you got on spandex right now. We got 4 episodes of this. And I found out it was 9 episodes. Can we actually be able to judge the whole show from this 4 that we received right here? No, we can't. But we can definitely let you know how the first 4 episodes are. And do we have any hope for the rest of the show? Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Disney Plus's She-Hulk.
More and more eccentric superhumans are coming out of the woodwork.
It's just something funny about seeing somebody jump out of a window for no reason.
I don't know the context behind that, but that shit is hilarious.
I think I'm jealous. Is that what I'm feeling?
Let's just cut right to some things that people are probably going to be talking about the most when it comes to this show right here. Let's just go ahead and get that all out the way. First of all, yes, she's fine as hell. We're all horny for her. Okay, let's just go ahead. She got ass. Yes. Let's just get that out the way right now. We know this. We knew this from the moment the first teaser popped up. It was teasing us. But it's funny because everybody, that connects to what I'm about to talk about, because everybody talking about how fine this Hulk is right here. Yeah, there are dudes who are jacking off to this CG creation, and right now as we speak.
Man, don't put me on blast like that.
Damn, you are. Get your hand back in your pants. But everybody, even though everybody's horny for this, men and women, by the way, everybody's complaining about the CG. Is it so? When it comes to us, or myself, if you ask me, is the CG any good? Yes. For everybody else except She-Hulk, the person whose show it is got the worst CG effect. Thing is, the Mark Ruffalo Hulk, like Smart Hulk in here, looks great.
Well, they've had those models.
Yeah,
around.
But that's what I was wondering. I said, all right, they just copied and pasted it up in here. So, I already had Hulk around. So Smart Hulk looks great, man. His expressions are on point. There's a lot of great detail in there. The texturing. I mean, I'm not trying to get technical or anything, but just the texturing and the skin, it just looks a little more natural, man. So it's there's a lot of stuff with the Mark Ruffalo Hulk that looks great. She-Hulk, on the other hand, got a little Shrekish. At times. Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah. At times it looked like Fiona went to the gym and dyed her hair. Where the Hulk, where the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo Hulk, feels like good motion capture. There are times when She-Hulk looks like somebody's animating a cartoon character. And I'll tell you why. There's certain points, because, just hear me out right now, because it sounds like I'm being kind of shitty. I'm trying not to be. Because I just looked at certain things, and because I really wanted to be fair when I was watching this. Because sometimes, when I look at the details, it's so small things that really make it into that, what they call that uncanny valley. The hair is one of the main things. There are some times when the hair is fine.
There are some times when they spend a lot of attention to making the hair, like just getting the detail of the hair moving and flowing like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Like this scene right here. I'm looking at the hair. Let me play that again for you. Like the hair looks natural right there for some reason.
Yeah.
The hair is, is got a natural bounce to it. It feels real. The weight of it feels like it's very realistic to me. I would think that somebody's doing that with the wig. But there are other moments where when I'm looking at it and it's kind of floaty, like right here. It's small, but it just doesn't. Listen, it's a minute detail, but it really is the small things that just distract you sometimes without you even noticing. Then there's the other thing. There's the other deal of her, with her breaking the fourth wall. That's another thing people gonna be talking about, I think. Those who read the comics, you'll be used to this. You'll even say, well, to all those people who are complaining, that's what she does in the comics.
I just want to make sure that you don't think this is one of those cameo every week type of shows. Well, except Bruce. And Blonsky. And Wong.
You know, listen, she's been doing this for a while. She's been doing this before Deadpool, and even before her. This is a technique that's been used, you know, a narrative, a quick narrative way to connect with the audience. And it's been done for years. I'm gonna show you a clip of, I mean, this is from '84. This is a clip of Doctor Who from back in '84. Even on that show, they weren't doing it for laughs. They had villains that would just stop and like look at the audience like, can you believe this shit right here?
I know that starts to be quiet. I need time to think. The execution was a hoax. The general is obtuse, but he's a loyal government servant.
That dude's like, who the f*** you talking to?
And as an audience man, you're like, why are you bringing me into this? I'm just watching. You do what you got to do.
You mother see this shit. He's looking at us like, did you know about this? I'm just watching the show, man. I don't know. You know, that breaking that fourth wall, that is something that is not for everybody, including myself. I'll be honest with you, man. It's sometimes I watch shows that do it, like that show Fleabag. It used to do it a lot, and I thought the writing on that was fine, that to where it didn't bother me. But I don't always like when they do the fourth wall breaking thing, man. You know, some see it, including myself, as something being too cute, too self-aware. It's distracting. It can pull you out of the story when you're really into it. And the thing is, even if they use this in comics, you know, even if this is something that they did for a long time, which they did, you know, watching it on a show that's already set up in an established world, it still can seem out of place. But I am not one to let simple things such as bad CG and somebody looking at the camera and running their mouth off and looking me in the eye, taking me out the show. I'm not one to let little things like that ruin a show for me. And I'll tell you why, but I'll hand it over to Martin.
Well, with the things you brought up, I rarely let bad CG ruin things for me because I grew up in a time where special effects were Ray Harryhausen stop animation, and you just had to go with it. And so with this, I know that everybody's sending me daily reports on how Marvel is running these CG animators into the ground and they can't get good animations.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it. And none of this is real. So as long as they write it well, I'm willing to go with
That's
it.
one of your animators right there. Look, bam. Can't take this shit.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna. This is not gonna slow me down. I get it. I'm just gonna go with it. And the thing you brought up about breaking the fourth wall, it's like, yeah, you know, this is a thing that's been done. I mean, I used to love it back on Moonlighting when they did that. When Bruce Willis would do it. It's okay. I don't mind it so much. And it was a thing from the comics. You know, with those things, I don't mind it when the writing is good enough because I'm taken along with that.
Yeah. Well,
The writing's not really good enough though.
Oh.
I just found so much of this series to be underwritten. I find it where you set up a comedy like this and basically you have the A joke and then you have the B joke. Like the A joke is the one that everybody laughs at and the B joke comes along and just carry the momentum along. And I found through so much of this series that they only had the B joke.
Yeah, listen, I was able to overlook a lot of the things I'm complaining about. You know, I'm talking about the CG and whatnot. Because I'm like you, I'm not always expecting perfection in CG. Shit, especially when I know something ain't real. Now, if you're trying to make a human being or something, and then okay, but if if you're talking about a creature or a superhero or 7-foot green woman who's fine, maybe that's why I don't care because she's fine as I don't know. But I don't. Those little things don't bother me when I know that we're in a fantastical world. And it's on a streaming service or television or something
exactly.
like that. I'm not nitpicking like that, man. And the fourth wall stuff, here didn't bother me too much. And I'll tell you why. And listen, I might be forgiving of a lot of things because this is a comedy. I'm not going to ignore the things that are wrong here. I know that. I know that a lot of people won't like them, and that doesn't bother me when people see it. If you think it's bad enough and it's distracting for you, I totally get that, man. Because I do think it can be distracting to people. Everybody's threshold for accepting something like that is different.
Right.
So don't think I'm sitting up here,
saying like, if you can't get with this, then you stupid.
Yeah,
I
you
get
nitpicking.
It. Yeah.
I get it, man. I'm just saying, and I'm almost saying that as a way to warn people. Don't take my word as, oh, it didn't bother me, because it could bother some people out there. And if people are giving this bad reviews for that, which I don't know what the reviews are like, but if they are, I totally understand. I think it's just going to be preference who can withstand it for that long. But for me, I'll call it out, but I don't think the CG was that bad.
Right.
The CG was, if anything, it went from spots of being bad, just tiny spots, to just being adequate. As far as we have with She-Hulk.
Right.
I never looked at She-Hulk and thought for 1 minute, oh my God, that's amazing. It was just enough to get by, and that was cool with me. I mainly enjoyed this show though because I like the way it played with where the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it is right now. And as I said, man, it's crazy. This is a silly ass world right now, and I say that with all due respect. And as I was saying, I might be forgiving of all of that because this is a comedy, and I'm usually kind of forgiving with comedies.
Sure. So, same here.
It's not, you're not being very serious. I can let certain things slide, but what I really love with this is how the whole thing of this being a legal show, the whole legal approach to everything in this show. I love that because it normalizes just how outrageous this world is now. And they've already kind of been doing that. People have been, have been acknowledging like, okay, they're here. Superheroes are everywhere. We just right now went from, wow, look at that super person, to we just dealing with it. It's not that big a deal anymore. Because here's the thing. The reason why this feels more normalized to me is because once you start taking wizards to court and you start suing elves for damages, it's ridiculous, yes, but at the same time, it just kind of grounds things a little more.
It works in our world.
Yeah, it grounds things a little bit more, and we're able to connect and relate to it a little bit more. Before, these characters were tearing down the city, and when they were done, they'd go back to their lair or go back to the dimension that they came from. Now they might be getting a call from a lawyer. They might be getting served. So I really like that, man. And I think that this is a nice setup and a reflection on what the MCU has become. Normalized. It's kind of awesome in a way that, when you see it for the first time, but now these days, no one really gives a shit. No one cares if you got powers. It's like seeing a celebrity. You see a celebrity on the street and you're just like, wow, man, guess who I saw today? I saw Idris Elba. And then you go about your business. Wow, guess what I saw? I saw Doctor Strange just destroy the New York. Hey, I got shit to do. You go about your day. I see, we've seen that before with Doctor Strange. He's hanging out in pizza parlors. And people, maybe one person would ask for an autograph. Other people just trying to get to work or catch the subway. We seen Peter Parker. He can't even get into college because it's a complicated thing with him being a superhero. Nobody wants to deal with that shit.
Right.
And that's another thing I liked about this show. Except, where before it was kind of cool and people didn't know how to deal with superheroes, now it's become a burden. And not for other people, but it's become a burden for the people who have superpowers. What's the actress?
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, she's the one that plays the She-Hulk. She was just an attorney, man, who was doing her job, and now she's got these superpowers. A lot of people don't want to touch her, except, well, what do you know? This firm over here, which you actually went against one time, just happens to have a branch of the office that's meant for superpowered people. And you, being a superpowered lawyer, would be perfect for the job. Now we have like this whole show centered around, a superpowered department for, superpowered people that need legal representation. I like that, man, because you can't just, it just goes to show how many superheroes out there now. We just can't defeat them anymore with other superpowers. In fact, that destroys the city. It's better to just take them to court if you can do it. And I really like that, man. And then I also like that they're showing how this, it's a lot of them out there. It's become a full-time job for them. Again, it goes to what you're looking for in this show, man. If you're looking for straight up just the comedy or the usual spectacles that you get from, the Marvel movies, there's a chance that you might not be satisfied. So you might be. And I just liked how everything was coming together, and they started just branching out what the MCU universe was, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like now. That is what I enjoyed the most here. Sir. No, Martin, I ask you all. Don't act like I'm hogging this everything. I ask you all the time. I say, hey, go ahead. You just.
Well, no. Everything you're saying, it is there, but that's all the stuff I saw from the trailer and I thought would be there, and it's in it. But at the same time, I was like, there's a way to flesh this out, and I constantly felt like they weren't doing it. Like, yeah, it's there on the surface. This is a show that really needs to be 45 minutes per episode, because there's been so many lawyer shows that will dig into a case. Even some of them are comical and dig into fantastical cases, but this just barely touches on it, and then it's kind of over. Like, ever since Hawkeye, everything has been just like light and airy and a joke and doesn't have any weight to it. And this has such an opportunity to have weight to everything, but I feel like it just breezily moves along from one thing to the next without making any real impact. And it's like, it's all there. I've even read some of the comics that they're pulling from. It's like, there was more here you could have done. And it doesn't have to be like the comic, but just as a show. But yeah, that 28 to 35 minutes they have for each one, it's like, this goes so quickly, I barely remember what I just ate.
I thought, first of all, being 25 minutes, barely 30 minutes, that was perfect for me. That was fine. I got things to do, man. I'm a busy person.
No, me too. But I just kept feeling like another 15 minutes to really develop some of this would have been so much better.
I don't need that. I don't have time to do. I don't even have time to play any games. That's why I'm glad I can take them on the go now.
With backbone. I was wondering what that thing was.
I seen him bring it in here. I was like, what the hell is that?
People, if you're a busy man like myself, you only have barely enough time to watch 30 minutes of an episode or something. Not like Martin, who has a whole, 40 minutes to an hour to watch something, Martin. I see what you mean. See, I'm a busy guy.
15 minutes ain't
Yes.
a big deal.
It's a big deal for me. I'm so busy, I got to take my game on the go now. Actually, this is pretty cool, y'all. I'm joking around, but this is the Backbone controller right here. And what this does, this is let me tell you, so you're talking about, whoa, listen to this. You're going to like this, because I just started playing with this week, and it's actually a lot of fun. So first of all, to tell you about Backbone is the gaming essential that gives you the experience of console gaming, at least from a controller, on your mobile phone. And for this particular device right here, Backbone just released one exclusively for PlayStation 5. This is the one that is called the PlayStation Edition of the Backbone 1. And as I said, it brings console control style gaming to the iPhone. And you can see it right here. And the thing about this is that if you're looking at this and you're saying, well, damn, I just look like a PlayStation controller with the middle taken out of it. Well, the reason why is because they designed this with the PlayStation in mind. And actually, they did this in collaboration with the PlayStation. This is an officially licensed controller by PlayStation. Backbone is actually really cool. I've been playing my PS5 on my phone thanks to Backbone. You stretch it out like this, and the reason why is because you're going to put your phone right in the middle of it. And as you can see right now, I'm not going to put it in all the way because I don't want to take off my notes right here, but there is...
That's not nice.
Oh! I just violated my phone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Siri. But I hate to say this, Siri. I'm sorry, but you do have a plug down there that you can stick, a little hole down there. You can stick that that connects to the iPhone from the bottom there. And sorry, now my phone's gonna report me. but
Hashtag.
I know. You know, you have your connector down there. You plug it in, and what happens is you can connect to your PS5. You can do that through, and this is what I used, y'all. I used Remote Play.
Yeah,
That's a setup.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, the Remote Play is the main thing that you do that with. You set up a Remote Play or cloud streaming services, or what you can do is, if you go to the App Store, if you see any kind of apps that work with a controller, any kind of games that work with a controller, you can use the Backbone. I today was I played around with this. I was playing Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Rift in Time with this right before I got on. I've actually been playing it for the last few days with this. You know, if you're someone who likes mobile gaming, you know, you want to walk around the house, you want, you know, sit on the bed, you know, maybe you're, you know, you sit at a table somewhere where you don't have your console. Go ahead and try the Backbone, man. I actually did. I was impressed by how well this worked. Go to playbackbone.com/toasted and get free access to over 350 console games and perks with that. You heard me, Martin.
Free 350?
Yes, Martin, you heard me. Get access to over 350 console games and perks. Get free access to that by going to playbackbone.com/toasted. And also,
That's insane.
they're crazy, Martin, but that's how much they believe in the Backbone controller over here. Also, people, they want to let you know that Backbone is the official partner of Diablo Immortal.
Oh.
Not only is this
Whoa.
game...
You didn't say that.
Yeah. Not only is this game specifically optimized for Backbone, but you'll also receive $10 of in-game perks.
What?
They're crazy. Martin, you said it. They're crazy.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you, Backbone? And people, to do that, once again, go to playbackbone.com/toasted. I want to thank Backbone. Well, first of all, let me play with one of these. It is actually a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You'd be surprised at how well it plays on your phone, replicating that experience. And I want to thank all of you out there for your support. All you gamers out there, go try this. There's a few games in the App Store. And I'm not even looking forward to playing with my PlayStation all the time. There's a few games in the App Store I'm looking forward to playing on my phone and playing with the controller right here. I had a lot of fun with it. Try it out. Here's the box, nice and shiny. And get yourself one today and get those perks and those free games. Yeah. And understand, I'm not disagreeing with you. Anything like that. No, I'm not. I mean, look, I don't know why you expect me to come here and fight with you every weekend. I'm not.
Well, I never know with you. But I was like, come on, he's got to see the same thing I do.
No, I don't. But, you know, I mean, but that's okay. It's all right. I mean, again, I get it if you don't see those things.
But I see those things. I just feel like there's not enough here.
Yeah, and for me, the reason why I tell you my expectations were probably a little lower, because you're saying that you wanted something a little deeper. You wanted to go more into these cases. This is, you know, this for me, this is a sitcom.
Yeah.
Sitcoms, first of all, are within the 20 such odd minutes of, you know, format.
Sure.
And so, and also with a sitcom, light and airy, that's exactly what I'm expecting with that. I've been conditioned to like just expect Marvel now to just not get too deep. You know, you know, what you're feeling for this is what I felt with Thor. You know,
okay.
and because Thor was probably meant to, you know, I felt like they were trying to do heavier things and the jokes got in the way. With this, I'm like, Marvel has been joking y'all's ass off and just kind of been taken away from some of the stories. And now we have something where it's meant for the jokes. And this is where I feel like it's best suited.
I know personally I have this thing when they do female superheroes and they don't take them seriously or they keep them light. Because I'm like, people are primed to not want to take the female superheroes seriously, which makes me feel like this is why even more it's important to do a better than average job with them, because they already have that against them. Like being black, you get told, you got to be better, almost twice as better as your white counterparts to get half as much credit. And I feel that way with any kind of minority, even females. Like, look, don't come half-stepping going like, well, because we're this, we can do this. Like, no. You got to be better than them. I watched this, and it's not like I don't enjoy it, but I was like, this could be so much better. When I watched the trailer, I imagined something that could be so much better than what it is, and it's not trying.
Yeah,
and that bothers me.
Okay, I mean, well, it didn't bother me, and that is fine. We had, again, two different expectations going into it, and there's nothing wrong with that. As I said, there's a lot of people out there who might actually feel that way. I felt that way about other Marvel movies. I don't feel that way about a show where they're saying where they tell you in the beginning we are a sitcom. There's nothing deep going on here, and I'm glad they're not trying to do anything deep. They've been doing that and actually been dropping the ball and getting sidetracked by a lot of humor. Go straight into it here. And that's actually a coincidence that I played that clip right when I said that. And this is the one I felt like I could like sit down and just really kind of take in without having to have any of those heavy expectations. Now, that's not to say that what you're saying is wrong, or not even wrong. I just, whether I don't agree with you or not, I do agree with you on some things, because even the sitcom humor gets a little, sitcomish at times. There's characters in here more cartoony looking than She-Hulk, and that's not because of how they really look physically. It's because of what they are, because they are they're kind of over the top sitcom characters. There's a drunk chick that keeps making an appearance in here, which
I liked her.
She didn't bother me a whole lot, but it's a one-note character, and it's a character again that's strictly written for laughs, and there's nothing deep about her at all. And that's fine. They got a magician in here who's, cliche of every self-centered, egotistical magician that you've seen before. Those things, didn't really love them, didn't really bother me a whole lot. They do montages, the whole dating montage, and, it's one of those things where, everybody's more than me. It's like that's what you get a dating montage. I'm going to meet every person. I'm going to be the cool one sitting at the table. And, she meets weirdos and stuff like that. It's every blind dating montage, dating montage you've seen in movies.
That was the thing, because her whole thing was like, well, as Jennifer, I'm just dating on the apps. And what they do with her dating on the apps is like, this is the cliche thing that everybody does. You're not even speaking anything clever or new to this scenario.
Yeah, and again, like I said, expectations, man. Comedy worked for me for another reason, and because, listen, yes, you're right. Make no mistake that this is more of a legal show, and it's definitely more of a comedy. It really is more of a comedy. We've been saying that. People look at comedy as being sometimes a lesser form of storytelling because they're stripping characters down from their complexities. And I thought that was kind of the opposite here. And, stepping away from the superhero format that we've been seeing, probably another reason why I like this more than you did, is because, stepping away from that superhero format, for me, that adds more to the characters that they have here, because it gives them time to be characters more. They're not jumping into the action. They're not just being strictly bad guys, there to get beat up on or be a force to be stopped. I'll give an example. Tim Roth. Tim Roth as the Abomination. What's his name?
Emil Blonsky.
Emil Blonsky. Before, when you saw him in The Incredible Hulk, he was just a villain. And a lot of people say that. It's just like, this. He wasn't that deep of a character. Here, I thought he was very funny. I thought he was very good, mainly because he's not just a bad guy. Tim Roth gets to act in this, and you get, he's not deep at all. He is there more for comedy, but also it does make his character a little more complex. Way more complex than he was in The Incredible Hulk, because now he's in front of a parole board trying to convince them why he's changed, and his arguments actually. His arguments for why he's changed, those are a little complex. Those are a little deep. Those are not gray at all. He's telling I'm not that guy you saw in that last movie, and I've changed over time. And you sit there wondering whether to believe him or not, but they do make a good argument for, and this is what I liked about it, because they don't dwell on it. They don't get too deep. They make an argument for do we just want to punish people, or do we really want to rehabilitate?
Sure.
And I like that they did that with that character. That's something that you don't see in these action movies, where they spend a lot of time doing it. They might bring it up in a scene, but we got to get here and get to this action. Here we get a couple of episodes where we get to go over this whole thing. Is this guy rehabilitated? Should he be given a second chance for a guy that destroyed Harlem? I like that with this, man.
Yeah, I like that just fine.
seeing Mark Ruffalo in this, man. I liked seeing him with his cousin because you get to see him actually sit back, not jumping again into some action where he's fighting aliens or some villain or something. You get to see Mark Ruffalo's Hulk just sit back and just be a dude for more than you've seen him in any of these other movies. They do feel like family, man. They feel like, you love your family, but you're gonna mess with them. You're gonna call them names. They're gonna piss you off sometime. And I love the scenes where he's getting just she is just showing him up at everything. And I love how they just show Hulk just getting slowly pissed in every scene until he can't take that shit no more. The Hulk is one of the smartest dude on the planet, in the universe probably. Bruce Banner, that is, but he's childish as
It's easy.
Little punk.
I like that. He wanted to call her a bitch on the way down. And there was a time he would have beat her ass. He's got better control over it right now. I like that interaction with them, man. This is the reason why I like that show, because I've seen so many. You know me. I've told you, I'm getting kind of tired of the superhero stuff too because it's repetitive. So you pull me away from the action for a little bit. Just let me see these characters hanging around. Maybe that's why I like it more than you, because that's what I'm looking for with
Actually,
this.
I didn't need the superhero action. I didn't crave that at all.
Yeah, I'm not saying, again, this is not an argument. I'm just saying this is this is what I was looking for with this, and I felt like I got it with that. Cast was I thought was good. I already told you Tim Roth was good in this. I thought Tatiana Maslany was great casting. I think she's a big reason why, because of her acting, she's a big reason why I'm able to overlook a lot of the CG flaws, because I just like her personality in this. Something I agree with you on that you did say, though, I do think that the whole thing with her, so for those of you who don't know, She-Hulk got her powers through a blood transfusion in the comics. And I do felt like it was kind of rushed right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how it is. I just felt like, all right, y'all, you really just had to move on, didn't you?
Yeah, they really did.
Right.
We don't want to spend time on this.
I mean, there's another part of me that understands why they did it the way they did it, which I can't say. I don't know how I would fix it, because I do get why they did it. At the same time, I felt they could have done more. And we do need to move on. We need to dwell on that. And also, as much as I like the comedy, I wouldn't have minded that being a more probably serious approach, just for a little bit, just for a little bit. But then, like I said, nothing that slowed things down for me. There are characters in here who I'm looking at and I'm like, okay, you gonna be doing the same shit through the rest of this series, or are you gonna be something more? Are you, for example, the best friend, Ginger Gozanga. It's like, are you just gonna continue to be the perky best friend? Are we gonna get something more out of you? I hope that we do see her do something more. And as I said, near the end of the series, the sitcom format really, really starts to play in to the point where even it becomes that kind of sitcom that I'm not exactly crazy about. And that comes to the characters I was telling you about, like the drunk girl and the magician and things like that. And I'm wondering if these are going to be indicators of where this show is going to go for the next 5 episodes that we have.
Well, I did enjoy the things you like about the show. I enjoyed those also. And the times they do break to talk about sexism, as much as it might feel like, oh, great, they're preaching to me, they're actually dropping knowledge. And I was like, I like this. This is something that sets us apart from everything else.
Yeah.
But as much as I like those things you like about the show, I felt like, man, this could really do more. I feel like every time they touch on something, they get a laugh. It's not a big laugh, and they're moving on to the next thing. I was like I said, it felt underwritten. Like you guys could be going for bigger laughs or saying more, or if you just gave the show another 10 or 15 minutes, you could really have something like so many other comedic lawyer shows that have come before this, and it's not doing that. And it's one of those shows where normally if they only give us a few episodes of a show, and we're like, shit, now I got to wait for it to catch up to where I am, but I'm champing at the bit for it to get to that point. And with this, I'm like, well, I know I'll catch it when it comes, but I'm not super excited about it. It just feels sort of half empty to me, and I wish it didn't, because I really want to love this. It's just and it's one of those things where I don't know if you watch Miss Marvel. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Do you watch it all the way? Because it was a thing where it felt like they were going back and forth about having shows that, like, they might not be the end all be all, but they had something really deep about them. And Miss Marvel was a show that felt very light. It felt like a show to be on Freeform. The only thing that was really stood out about it was that it went into the whole Pakistani culture. And this feels like another show that's very light. And I know the budget is going into the CGI, but other than that, it's like, man, there's so much more that can be done here that's not really there to cement it with me. And that's kind of how I felt about it. It's like, it's fine when I watch it, but it doesn't stick with me.
What would you give it?
I would give it a very high rental.
I feel like, you can see two different explanations here for, the reasons why we have our feelings about this. You wanted something deeper. You wanted something more.
Just slightly.
Yeah, and all I can tell you is, if you go in expecting light entertainment, such as I did, if you see it as that, as light entertainment, and don't watch it so much as in context to the MCU, then I think it can be enjoyable, or not. I know one thing. That extra's terrible. This dude right here, this mother, he looks like a zombie walking in. Boy, you see that shit? All you gotta do, you had one thing.
Yeah.
Pump your fist and look excited. That dude looked like he was lost. Y'all see that, man?
Yeah, I did.
It's a little bit of emotion.
Shit, he should be.
Okay, all right,
God damn,
all
he should be in The Walking Dead. He shouldn't be in this right here. Look at it if you possibly, you still might go in feeling like Martin, but I think if you go in with an attitude of watching something lighter, and honestly, I think this is the most different thing that Marvel has done as far as an MCU show on Disney Plus. This feels more like they've taken one of those Marvel one-offs and was able to make sort of a series out of it. Because the one-offs were the ones that they were able to do very different things with. But that was back when they probably didn't want to risk as much. And now that they're able to do it, I think I appreciate it a little bit more. I give this just a plain, straight-up matinee. And I am curious to see where this goes for the next. I'm not super excited. Like, oh my God, I can't wait for the next ones. But I am looking forward to them. I am interested to see where things go next. We did not see Daredevil. In this.
He happened later.
So we did not see some of the bigger cameos in here, because I was getting tired of cameos and stuff too. Because these things are turning to walk-ons now. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, hey, I'm here. I got a movie coming up. See y'all soon. I like that the comedy actually makes the cameos feel better for me, and I think that some of these cameos are not cameos either. Wong is not a cameo. He has a running plot line in this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's.
I like Wong, so.
I do too,
No,
man.
they know that. They mention that, as a matter of fact.
They actually, they make fun of that.
Yeah, okay.
But seriously, man, when we're talking about Wong should have more to do, if you feel like that, yeah, they got you right here, I think. Because Wong definitely has more shit to do than he ever did hanging around Doctor Strange.
It's funny because
Doctor Strange just held his ass back.
In the comics is Doctor Strange, who's also working for that law firm.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, shit, I ain't gonna pay for him.
No.
No, hell no.
Wong's good enough.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But I see your point, man. I do. It's not a big deal. All right. MCU has been kind of divisive to these.
I know.
These days anyway.
And I don't want to be negative, because that's everybody's favorite thing to do, is to be negative about the MCU. And I don't want to be negative. It's just like, watching the trailer, I expected more, and there wasn't there.
You ain't here to do what everybody wants you to do. Shit. If you like it. Don't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You worry about people's feelings too much. I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, fuck y'all. I like it.
I know. I like it or I don't like it.
Yeah,
deal with it.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
You like that? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. Let me see here. Oh, you just being silly, Miles. Live by the Wong, die by the Wong. Stop it.
Shut up.
Stop. You silly son of a bitch. All right, y'all. We got Orphan coming up next. I'll even put up here on the scroll. So y'all can see.
Got to fortify your mind.
Man, let me tell you something. I made fun of you for saying that.
He says it.
And no, I say it all the time. I go to the house all the time talking about, you've got to fortify your mind. You put that shit in my head, man.
I love that line, man.
I said, what was the big deal with that? That makes no sense. Why
You gotta watch
much?
it in the movie.
But-
That shit is hilarious. How he presents it. How he
Yeah.
said,
But
his
you
line
said
delivery.
it. You said it, and you put it in my head, and I can't get it out. And now,
You accepted him.
when I started watching this, every time Wong stepped on the screen, I was like, you got to fortify your mind. And I was like, damn it, Julian, you did this shit.
The same way when I watch
Damn,
it.
Julian, you fortified my mind.